being the key in the first game. In this game, the coaches agree rebounding is the key. As Ohio State's Jim O'Brien says, it's our deficiency, it's their strength.
Auburn likes to press and run, but oh, do they sky. Chris Porter, one of the great rebounders in the country.
The one thing, of course, that Ohio State does have going for it is great scoring in the backcourt, one of the best backcourts in the country. Scooney Penn and Michael Redd.
Scooney Penn from Salem, Mass. Transferred 2 years ago to run the show. Great offensive weapon. His ability to score along with Michael Redd on the off-guard position. They dominate in the lane. They back cut, and they can finish. Redd great with a spin dribble or the dunks. But in the open floor, Scooney can scoot, Sean McDonough.
That backcourt received a lot of publicity, but the backcourt of Scott Coleman and Doc Robinson for Auburn might be the most underrated in the country, according to their coach Cliff Ellis. And that backcourt's been terrific in the tournament. The other starters for Auburn, Mamadou Njai, the shot blocker, Bryant Smith, the great senior leader, and Chris Porter, the SEC Player of the Year. Not a lot of scoring up front, and just two starters in the front court tonight for Ohio State, Jason Singleton and Ken Johnson. It'll be Brian Brown, the freshman, with Redd and Penn in the backcourt. Brown didn't start at all during the regular season or in the Big Ten tournament, but he started all 3 games now in the NCAA. Tim Higgins, a veteran official, the lead official with Lonnie Dixon and Dick Cartmel. Auburn and white, Ohio State in red. Johnson and Njai jump. It's controlled by Johnson of Ohio State.
And the Auburn Tigers, Sean McDonough, go minute.
Scooney Penn opens with Coleman guarding him. Michael Redd got off on the drive by Smith, an excellent defender. Lost along the baseline. Last touch by Auburn as Singleton had it knocked away. Jim O'Brien has turned the Ohio State program around in just 2 seasons. 8 wins last year. This season, 25-8. 5 consecutive losing seasons. Now they're in the Sweet 16.
Part of the reason, the ability with these two, Penn and Redd. They've got to score big tonight, Sean. With flare screen.
Brown almost traveled. Shot clock at 2. And a jumper rattles in for Michael Redd. A 3-pointer to start the game for Ohio State.
And Ohio State with the man-to-man, you'll see some zone this evening. Coleman great without the ball. A lot of motion, a lot of screens by Auburn.
Singleton ran out aggressively on Coleman, then hustled to get back on Porter. And Bryant Smith hits a nice fadeaway jumper. The senior from Huntsville.
So they do a great job of spreading to open up the passing lane.
Brown, wide pass. Freshman a little bit out of control. The Auburn coach is Cliff Ellis. He's won 96 games, fastest than any coach in Tiger history. This is his first trip to the NCAA with the Auburn Tigers. He has been in the NIT 3 of his first 4 years. He's never been to Elite 8 as a coach. South Alabama, Clemson, or at Auburn. Porter lost it, out of bounds, last touch by Auburn. We're talking about the turnaround of Ohio State. Auburn similarly improved. 16 wins last year, 29-3 this year. Ohio State is the biggest turnaround in school and Big Ten history. Plus 17 wins over a year ago.
And you saw the dead ball situation, Sean. We'll see a lot of pressing. They trap occasionally and then sprint back. They can tee it up. They read who has the ball, whether they trap aggressively.
Redd, a sophomore from Columbus. He led the Big Ten in scoring last year as a freshman. He was their only big scoring threat. Hasn't had to carry as much of the load. Scooney Penn intercepted the long outlet pass.
And in fairness to NJ, I think he got bumped on the release.
Porter bumped Penn, but it's a play on. Scooney missed a 3. He has 79 threes this year. That's the single season Ohio State record.
Auburn great at getting down early to get inside position, or this guy with the goodness.
Well, he got smacked, didn't he?
Oh, in Maybury, somebody would be in the can.
Well, it looked like Coleman got absolutely leveled. And there was no whistle for a foul, just the whistle for the ball going out of bounds.
Well, they get down early, and teasing him about the name Opie. His ability to get free, so key for this team.
At least in the first 2 minutes, it seems they're going to let them play on here. And Redd strips Coleman.
Great use of the dribble here. Smith, a terrific defender, usually draws the best player.
Brown pulls it out. The freshman from Brooklyn, New York, out of Bishop Laughlin High School. Now Singleton with Porter right on him. Jump hook for Ken Johnson.
Well designed play, little screen away, and he's got some offensive things. He's got a rolling hook, jump hook, obviously the turnaround jumper. Good dish.
And NJ fouled on a reach in. Off the pass from Doc Robinson.
All of a sudden, a little screen away here. Gets the big guy to the block. He can turn. We mentioned the rolling hook. Little touch, finesse, but a piano player should have touch.
And Johnson is an excellent piano player. Singleton called for the foul, his first. So here's Mamadou Ndiaye, the junior from Dakar, Senegal, missing the first free throw.
Key to see here, he gets the basketball, he runs the floor very well, showing about 65% from the free throw line. Not a bad touch. Cliff didn't like some of the shots he took in Porter in the last game. We'll see how they control that aspect.
Auburn's concerned getting more from its inside game. Cliff Ellis says the perimeter play's been great, but we've been relying too much on it in the first 2 rounds. We need more inside, and they should be able to get it with the talent they have inside.
And Brown, another guy that can dribble, penetrate as they put Red and Scooney off the basketball.
Brown with Robinson guarding him. Johnson wants to go to work on Ndiaye. The shot short. Brown, the guard, snuck in for a putback. And Porter rebounded.
Big snatch, and that's what he does. He spreads those legs. There's the screen down and the early offense on Pullman.
For Bryant Smith. For Robinson. A rare miss by an Auburn guard in the tournament. Smith had the rebound and was stripped. Red leading the break. Red, smooth.
Red goes right forward. Nice understanding. He had the lane filled on his left. Brought the ball to the middle. Able to come back with that lefty.
Want to remind those of you expecting to see the Iowa UConn game, we'll get you out to the West Region in Phoenix for the tip time. Now at 10:27 Eastern. Coleman. Well, he's starting out a bit colder than usual. Auburn has struggled in the first 10 minutes in each of the first 2 rounds against Winthrop, in particular in the first round. Offensive foul call and Jason Singleton.
Down the other end with Pullman, what they're doing is making him catch it a little further out. So you can see Ohio State's influenced by what they've seen in tape.
Jim O'Brien didn't like the foul call. That's 2 quickies on Jason Singleton. Timeout in Knoxville.
5 apiece here in Knoxville. Michelle Tafoya at courtside. Chris Porter has been Auburn's leading scorer all season long, but so far in the tournament, he hasn't been nearly as productive. Porter has scored just 9 points in each of the first 2 rounds, and Cliff Ellis said his forward may have been a bit overwhelmed by the tournament experience. But at yesterday's shoot-around here, Porter looked comfortable and told a team assistant, hey, somebody's in trouble. I like these rims. Now back to Sean and Bill.
Yes, he said that to Jacob Reidenauer, their administrative assistant. Does a great job helping Cliff Ellis and the staff. Meanwhile, Jason Singleton with 2 quick fouls, and that could be a factor. Boban Savovich has come in. And we say it could be a factor because Singleton was matching up with Porter. And Jim O'Brien said yesterday, Bill, he's every bit as good an athlete as Porter. He can stay with him athletically. It's just Porter has a little size in it.
And they may switch to the 2-3 zone a little bit for that reason, Sean. Penn with a great save on that deflection earlier. And they don't have the flexibility up front that he would like. He being Jim O'Brien.
George Reese is also checked in, playing forward, number 40 for Ohio State. Coleman, another miss. And that one goes over the backboard. And the ball goes over to Ohio State. Then we remind those of you expecting Iowa and UConn. We'll get you there in time for the tip at 10:27 Eastern time. A little bit later than originally planned because of the length of the thrilling Gonzaga victory over Florida.
Was that something? At the end of that one, little layup late. Barter with a chance at the other end, didn't knock it down. Little post pass to Red. He's tucked in around. Wow. Jai with some hops. And Jai plays off the basketball, Sean, and has a terrific read on it. And that's where shot blockers salivate.
And he broke Charles Barkley's career block shot record at Auburn. Njai now has 173 in his career. 75 this year. That's the single season school record.
Reese likes to bang.
Njai the rebound. Guards off to a slow shooting start for Auburn. Coleman and Robinson shooting a combined 60% in the tournament. They pounded inside in quarter. Scored immediately with Singleton out of the game. And Red answers with the banker.
A big spoot-a-roo in the open floor. But Doc Robinson now getting in the flow on the other end with penetration. And they got to make sure they get back and identify.
Robinson guarded by Penn. Njai and Johnson. Similar players. Shot blockers. Neither one puts up big numbers in terms of points. Shot clock at 10. Njai desperate to get rid of it. Shot clock at 2. Robinson has to let it fly. Smith the offensive rebound. And he was fouled on the way back up.
So on the ability to offensive rebound, Jimmy O'Brien said to both of us, it reminds him of the old Georgetown teams. Their offense starts after they shoot the ball. And that shot up there, and they just attack the tin. And that was his concern.
Auburn averages just under 20 offensive rebounds per game. Part of that is because they shoot just 43%. So they can get all over the glass. Ohio State only about 13 offensive rebounds a game, but they shoot 50%. So there are fewer misses at the offensive end to go chase. Smith made the first free throw. Get online tomorrow, 3 Eastern. Chat with Clark Kellogg about all the action from the tournament. Just log on to cbs.sportsline.com on America Online and a keyword CBS Sportsline. You'll be chatting with one of the nicest people we know.
A sweetheart. An Ohio State grad, I might add, as well. Here's the concern, I think, of your Auburn. Press and let Penn and Red become better players so they get it and back off. They're not going to gamble with them in the open floor.
9-7 Ohio State. This is the first meeting ever in basketball between these two schools. Boban Sabovic, Yugoslavian, missed his first shot, and Njai took it down.
So the Buckeyes leading Auburn by 2 at 9-7. We'll keep you advised as to what happens in that game. But those of you awaiting Iowa against UConn, it's time for the tip-off. Let's take you to America West Arena in Phoenix and join Gus Johnson and Dan Bonner.
All right, Greg, the West Regional Semifinal, Iowa, a number 5, against the number 1 seeded Huskies from Connecticut. And the bracket here in the West, what a game we just saw. Gonzaga holds on to beat Florida. They take on the winner of Connecticut and Iowa. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the America West Arena. I'm Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. The Connecticut Huskies, they're the number 1 seed here in the West. And, Danny, they're led by 2 great players.
Gus, you don't spend a lot of the season at number 1 in the country without guys who make plays, and in Khalid El-Amin and Richard Hamilton. Connecticut has 2 of the best playmakers in the country. El-Amin, a guy who can shoot it, a tremendous vocal leader, can get into the lane, create things, and there just isn't anything on a basketball court that Richard Hamilton cannot do. Those 2 guys are going to have to play well tonight.
Iowa advances to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1988. They beat UAB, followed by Arkansas, and this team is playing for their coach.
They're playing for their coach, and Coach Tom Davis had a few tricks up his sleeve against Arkansas. The box and 1 defense in the second half. Now, what do we mean by that? The guys around the lane area are playing zone, the 4 of them, and then in this case, it's number 22 in white, Pat Bradley, being guarded man-to-man. It's done as much to disrupt the opponent as anything else. Do you run your man-to-man stuff? Do you run your zone stuff? Iowa accomplished what they wanted to. We'll see what tricks Tom Davis has up his sleeve tonight. We asked him that, and he said, well, we can do a lot of things, but you never know what's going to work.
All right. Here is Coach Davis in his 13th and final season as the head coach at Iowa. And the starting lineup, they run a 3-guard set, so in the front court, it's Jess Settles, a 6th-year senior, and J.R. Koch, another senior. And in the backcourt, Jason Bauer, Dean Oliver, he's the point man, and Kent McCausland, a 3-point specialist. And the head coach for Connecticut, Jim Calhoun, 13th year, has won 28 or more games in 5 of the last 6 years. And his starting lineup for the Huskies, Kevin Freeman, most outstanding player at the Big East tournament, along with Bosco. Richard Hamilton, co-MVP in the Big East for the 2nd straight season. El-Amin is the dangerous point guard. Ricky Moore, a defensive specialist. 2. They were 16-2 in the Big East. This is their 8th trip to the NCAAs in the last 10 years. And close but no cigar.
People have been talking about the fact that Connecticut has never gone to a Final Four. Can't get much closer than they were these 3 years. 90, 95, 98. Is this the year for Jim Calhoun?
Coach Calhoun, we talked to him yesterday during practice, and he's a great and nice guy, but he is usually a little tight when these big games come up, and he was not really wanting to talk to us a whole lot.
Didn't have a lot of time, and you can certainly understand that. Jim Calhoun, what a record that they have at Connecticut. People are still saying, well, you're not successful because you haven't been to the Final Four.
Jody Sylvester, Frank Bassoni, and John Sweeney are the officials. Iowa in black, Connecticut in white. Koch, Voskuhl in the circle. And we're underway from Phoenix. Oliver, the sophomore point guard, leads them in scoring. At 12 a game is their leader. In the corner, settles, and he rips his first one.
Iowa with the full court pressure. They will try to pressure just to keep Connecticut off balance.
Nice look, Hamilton to Elamine, and the easy layup for the Huskies.
And it's hard to pressure Connecticut because they've got guys who can pass the ball and finish on the break.
Oliver, out of bounds, last touch by the Hawkeyes, and you see that full court pressure by UConn.
Iowa's going to have to be able to handle that. That pass by Oliver simply didn't come up for McCausland.
So Jake Voskuhl inbounding. Khalid Elamine, a sophomore from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He's the floor general for the Huskies, playing with some tender hamstrings.
Now we've got a pretty good matchup between sophomore point guards and Oliver and Elamine.
Hamilton. Elamine pops out.
Man-to-man for Iowa.
Right now, Elamine being guarded by Bauer. Voskuhl screens for him. Elamine down the lane, the runner. Loose ball, rebounded by Bauer.
One of the things that Iowa traditionally does very well is rebound the basketball, and they will have to do that this evening. Richard Hamilton is matched up against McCausland, and you simply cannot give McCausland any room to shoot the ball. It's great three-point shooting.
Koch for three. Got it. J.R. Koch, a senior from Morton, Illinois. He's a 37% three-point shooter on the season. And Iowa leads at 6-2.
Iowa's got 7 guys who can shoot the three. Their percentage hasn't been great this year. Their Voskuhl gets the easy basket inside, but the Hawkeyes of Iowa can shoot it. You better get out there and guard it.
Ricky Moore guarding Oliver. Settles, pull up three again. And it's rebounded by Freeman. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by Oliver.
Richard Hamilton is a guy that you've got to pay attention to if you're Iowa. Bauer trying to guard him, just bangs him, hangs on to him. Richard Hamilton, not really very well built, sort of a skinny looking guy. But he's used to that.
Pounds, exactly. And that's on a good day. Ricky Moore, along with Hamilton, Freeman, Voskuhl, and Elamine.
I think that's with his keys in his pocket.
Hamilton around the screen, and he is cutting to the hole.
Boy, how smooth is that?
From Cokesville, Pennsylvania, two-time Big East Player of the Year. And a turnover by Oliver.
Hamilton, a young man who moves very well without the basketball, uses the screen very effectively. Koch doesn't help out, and Hamilton is wide open.
Voskuhl inbounding, guarded by Koch. Ricky Moore into the backcourt. Quickly up top. Hamilton, one dribble, rise and fire. Bauer with the rebound. Oliver, no look pass to Koch. Pump fake, and it rattles down. Connecticut the other way. Elamine to Hamilton.
Iowa can't give up those easy transition baskets. If you're going to control the tempo against Connecticut, you must take that play away. And Connecticut's got 2 of those, just ripping right through the Iowa full court pressure.
Iowa, they beat UAB in the first round, 77-64, followed by an 82-72 win over Arkansas. And Arkansas plays a similar style as this Huskies team in terms of the press.
In terms of the press, they do. However, Oliver had great success dribbling the ball up against the Arkansas press. I don't think you'll have that same kind of success against Connecticut.
2 to shoot, settles. Loose ball, Cox picks it up on the baseline, and out of bounds. Cox turns it over.
Cox very upset, felt as if he was fouled down on the baseline. That's 3 turnovers now for Iowa.
16:35 to go here in the first half of play. Connecticut a #1 seed. Iowa a #5. And Guy Rucker checks into the game. Rucker, a junior from Inkster, Michigan.
Lorsman and Range also check in. And you better have your program available if you're going to watch an Iowa game. Tom Davis just runs them in off the bench.
Ricky Moore. Moore in the corner, dribble penetration, turned over. Oliver down the lane and a reach-in foul against Elamine.
Oliver is not the kind of a player who really displays a lot of quickness in a half-court set. But in transition, Oliver very good with the basketball. He has that ability to shift gears and explode past, and he did that time drawing the foul.
Ryan Lorsman also in the game. He wears number 24 for the Hawkeyes, as well as Joey Range, number 34. And now Kent McCausland checks in. He replaces Oliver. And McCausland can really stroke it from downtown.
McCausland's a guy that you have to make dribble the basketball.
Cox, the runner. Rucker picks it up. And a new shot clock. McCausland. Rucker with the rebound. He couldn't hold on.
Got to grab those. That was an easy basket if he just controls the ball.
Hamilton, pull up 3. Ricky Moore.
Oh, nice play.
Elamine got the step and banked it high off the window. And Connecticut takes a 2-point lead.
Elamine immediately tracks down McCausland. Connecticut stays in the man-to-man defense.
Lorsman, McCausland off the dribble, down low.
Connecticut turning their heads. Can't watch the basketball. Got to see the guy you're guarding as well. That's an easy one for Iowa.
Hamilton to the hole, and he's fouled. Lorsman got him from behind.
Iowa trying to put some pressure on Connecticut to slow them down, but rather than slow them down, it seems to get them going. Tom Davis, that's the style he likes.
So Richard Hamilton at the line. He averages 21 points per game. 3 straight years he's averaged at least 19 points. He's only a junior. His nickname is Rip. And the first one is good for Rip Hamilton. And the first 2 games in the tournament, as you see, he can fill it up, Danny.
He sure can. You saw during the regular season 21 points a game. Well, he stepped that up in the NCAA tournament.
Hamilton, an 84% free throw shooter. And he missed the second. Lorsman into the front court. Range takes his eyes off the ball and turns it over. 15-11 to go. First half to play. UConn up by 1. $15-11 to go in the first half of play. UConn up by 1.
And Tom Davis, Gus, everybody, of course, by now has heard the story. Tom Davis resigned in April. This is his last season. Taking his team to the Sweet 16 has been a great thing for Tom Davis. It's been very difficult for Tom Davis. He's handled the whole situation with a great deal of class.
Coach Davis has taken 11 teams to the NCAA. Coached at Boston College, Stanford, here at Iowa.
13 seasons in Iowa, 10 20-win seasons.
Now it looks like a trick defense this time by Iowa.
It's a box and one. McCausland is guarding Hamilton man-to-man. Everybody else is playing zone.
Skip pass. Ricky Moore for three. Got it.
One of the problems playing a box and one is it's going to leave somebody else open, and Connecticut has some very potent offensive weapons. The reason they went to the box and one is because Elamine is out of the game. Connecticut stays into the man-to-man, so Hamilton's in the game, but Elamine is out. So Iowa elects to go to the box and one, and Moore makes him pay for it.
Oliver, 10 on the shot clock. Crosses over, got the screen, dumps it back, Range, 5 to shoot. Range leans in, and Ricky Moore with the rebound. Lead pass, Hamilton. Nice look, Freeman can't hold on. Oliver the other way. Settles, no looker to Jakes. Underneath, and he travels.
That was great defensive effort. Moore and Hamilton both right there. 5 turnovers now against Iowa. Suleiman Wan there as well. They did a great job not giving up position and forcing that travel.
Edmund Sanders on the floor for UConn, along with Elamine. Elamine lost it, got it back. Look at him. Looks like a globetrot.
How did he keep that ball?
Rip Hamilton. Jakes with the ball.
Now, Iowa doesn't mind running. They like to run, but they don't want it to be raggy.
Oliver pull up, lefty three, hit it. 13:21 to go in the first half. And a foul. Travel.
The Iowa pressure has not really hurt Connecticut until right now. Jakes really on top of Elamine. Jim Calhoun laughing about that call. He felt like Jakes pushed him.
And John Sweeney, the baseline official, had his fist balled and his arm up in the air to signal a foul, but Jody Sylvester overruled it. Bauer settles inside, getting the Bulls knocked away. Hamilton quickly. Saunders to the hole. The tomahawk jam, but the foul is on the floor.
Richard Hamilton got the ball out of the defensive zone into the offensive zone so quickly that he really forced that play. We talked about all the things that Richard Hamilton can do. Comes up with the ball, then just explodes past Jess Settles. Oliver trying to catch up and is never able to get there without the foul. Tough pass by Settles. You simply cannot turn the ball over against Connecticut. They make you pay.
Elamine having a hard time getting it in to Harrison. And Elamine. Now Iowa back in the zone.
1-2-2 zone. They try to match up out of it.
Elamine forced it and got the ball. 16-13, UConn by 3. Bauer.
Iowa really wants to get it quickly into the offensive end. They're better in transition than they are as a half-court team.
Jess settles inside, Koch sealed, and draws the foul.
Juan picks up the foul. Settles really is playing with a great deal of aggressiveness, forcing some of those passes. That one was really a hot one. Koch lucky to catch it.
Suleiman Wan, a junior, 6'11", from Dakar, Senegal. And he checks out of the game. Jake Voskel from Katy, Texas. He checks back in.
And Juan may get some extra minutes in this game because of the size of Iowa.
Luersman trying to force it in. Saved on the baseline by McCausland.
The Huskies with such quick hands on defense.
Bauer down the lane, stripped away by Elamine. In the corner, Koch. Rimmed out. Moore with the rebound. Look at him push it ahead.
Did a great job, Gus, to control the ball. After he did push it ahead, he bounced into the official. That's why he lost it.
This guy's got to get out of the way.
They do their best to stay out of the way.
Elamine, pump fake down the lane, 14-footer, carry. kid's got all the moves.
He certainly brought the offensive game tonight. That ball almost hit Jim Calhoun in the head.
He's got 8, settles, turnaround jump shot. Bauer with the offensive rebound. McCausland.
And that's going to be a huge key for Iowa. If they can get McCausland those open looks at the basket. Jim Calhoun really upset with his team. They have to find McCausland every time down the court.
Now it looks like Iowa in some kind of 3-2 zone. They've been changing up their defensive fronts on almost every possession.
They're trying to do that to confuse Connecticut, try to disrupt the offense.
Skip pass. Rochevelle Jones in the game. Ricky Moore, one dribble. Got it again. Both these teams shooting the ball well. Connecticut 9 of 13. Iowa 6 of 13.
Huskies usually look to Hamilton and Elamine and Freeman to do the scoring, but Moore really a nice start tonight.
And Saunders on the baseline just running over Jason Bauer. 10:46 to go in the first half. UConn up by 4. To go in the first half to play. Iowa 4 of 7 from the three-point line. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. Connecticut, though, really able to get going and get running.
They really are. We showed you that statistics that said points in the paint, and usually that indicates the power game, punching the ball inside. But Connecticut, they've been scoring in there, Gus, because they're out running in transition, getting a lot of layups and easy baskets.
Get McCausland from the sideline deep. He's got 6, 2 threes. And Iowa pulls to within 1. Now they get into the full court press, but
they back off. Connecticut just shredded that press early in the game. They just show it in an attempt to make the Huskies slow down. McCausland hit that three-pointer right in front of Jim Calhoun. That's called adding insult to injury.
Iowa now
back in the box and 1. McCausland, Garden, Hamilton, man-to-man, everybody else playing zone.
Elamine stripped away, he's fouled.
One of the ways that you attack a box and 1 is with penetration off the dribble, and Elamine is going to be very hard to contain in this defense for Iowa.
Khalid Elamine from Minneapolis was one of the most highly recruited schoolboys coming out of Minnesota. Originally committed verbally to the University of Minnesota, but then changed his mind. And one thing that makes this kid so special, he doesn't look like a basketball player, he looks more like a tailback. But he's got such a great basketball IQ. He is a very smart and crafty basketball player.
You can see, looking at his first 2 games, the different dimensions that he brings. The first game, 10 assists. The second game, 21 points. This young man does what the Huskies need.
Missed the second free throw. Jakes with the rebound. Jakes, Oliver, Rucker, Raines, and McCausland on the court for the Hawkeyes. Down 21-19. Under 10 to go.
The high screens trying to get Oliver open at the top.
Here's Rucker in the low post. Backing his way. Drop steps on the baseline. Peels it off to Jakes, rather, excuse me. Jakes splits the defense. Got the roll and the foul. And look at him. He's fired up.
Trying to do one of those forward rolls, Gus not being very successful with it. But that is the way Iowa plays basketball. It doesn't always look pretty, but Jakes really trying to power it on the inside, sliding right in between Bosco and Freeman. That is not the way they draw it up, I guarantee you. Jakes, I don't think he can ever qualify as a cheerleader. You got to be able to do that flip a little better than that.
Missed the free throw, blocked out at the line. Mooring in the game, playing with an injured right knee, along with Ricky Moore, Freeman, Bosco, and Rip Hamilton.
Staying in that box and 1.
Mooring kicks it out. He takes the jumper and got it. Everybody hitting for this Connecticut squad.
Connecticut really likes to see that. Mooring only has played a couple of minutes in this tournament due to an injury. And there, Hamilton, you got to find that guy, and he found him.
Now get online tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern and chat with all of the action and chat about all of the action from the tournament with Clark Kellogg. Just log on to cbs.sportsline.com or in America Online, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. 9:13 to go in the first half. UConn, the #1 seed, against Iowa, the #5. Oliver trying to wrap it around inside, and that's one thing you see a lot of times with this Tom Davis squad. They love that bowling pass to get it into the low post.
Tom Davis coach teams really do like the bounce pass. This is a tough matchup for Oliver. Moore, just an outstanding defensive player.
One of the best in the country. From Augusta, Georgia. Look at the ball movement by the Hawkeyes. They swing it again, range. Very patient on offense. 14 to shoot.
And now they're going to expect Oliver to create something. Again, Moore, the outstanding defender.
Around the screen, Oliver. Loose ball. Rucker with the rebound. And got the timeout. And it's a 20. Now Saturday on CBS, it's Sons of Thunder. A new series here on CBS. Sons of Thunder, Saturday, 10/9 Central. And Tom Davis, 13th year, 28th year as a head coach. Iowa's all-time winningest coach.
The idea here is for his Hawkeyes to hang in the game, get a spurt or two, have a chance to win it at the end.
Joey Raines.
Rucker not a threat to shoot it from outside.
And a whistle. Rucker called for the foul away from the basketball. Just ran right through Edmund Saunders.
Rucker, one of the biggest and most physical of the Hawkeyes, and he just knocks Saunders for a loop. That was a pretty good forearm shiver.
He's 6'10", 270 pounds. Freeman inbounding to Elamine. Collins into the front court, double team, spin, and he's fouled. Dangerous off the dribble.
He may not look like a basketball player until he gets the basketball in his hands, and then he doesn't look like anything else. Just right through the Iowa pressure.
So Khalid Elamine, only the third player in Connecticut history to reach 1,000 points in his sophomore year, was also on the Goodwill Games team, coached by Clem Haskins of Minnesota, that won the gold medal at Madison Square Garden. And the first free throw is good. Now Saturday on CBS, martial arts superstar Sammo Hung and Arsenio Hall are kicking the punt back into Saturday night. Join the LAPD's dream team for an all-new martial law Saturday on CBS. Khalid Elamine. Second one good. Elamine already a quick start, 11 points in the first half of play, and we've got 8:14 to go. So Oliver settles Bauer, Range, and Jakes for Iowa.
Actually, a bit of a smaller lineup for Iowa.
And look how far the Connecticut defense has extended this Iowa offense. Bauer down the lane, blocked by Juan on the boards, but a foul on the floor. Juan, Freeman, Harrison, Mooring, and Hamilton. And Mooring picks up his first. 7:48 to go in the first half of play. UConn up 26-21. Unanswered points by Connecticut. They lead at 26-21 in the tournament summary.
Number 10 seeds really having a great tournament in St. John's. That big win over Maryland, their first trip to the Elite Eight since '91. And Gonzaga, winner in our first game, the first trip ever for the Bulldogs.
Let me ask you a question, Danny. You think anybody will mispronounce their name again? I don't think so. The Zags.
Took Valpo a couple of years, Gus. I don't know.
Oliver Guarded by Mooring this time. Mooring playing with the tender right knee.
No coincidence that Connecticut was able to get their run with Oliver on the bench, and their Koch hits the three, stepping back off that high screen for Oliver.
Iowa 6 of 11 from the three-point line, and Koch has 8. Mooring answers, though.
That's his second. Mooring, you mentioned that tender right knee. That's kept him out of the first couple of games of the NCAA tournament. Played just 2 minutes against New Mexico, but doesn't seem to have any lingering effects.
Also missed games during the Big East tournament.
Iowa's offense really spreads the court out, trying to look for those opportunities inside.
10 to shoot. Oliver around the screen again. Rise and fire. And the backside rebound to Hamilton. Ricky Moore in a hurry. Mooring travels. And one thing you notice about this Iowa offense, Dan, is how patient they are in the half-court set. They almost wait on every possession for the clock to get down to 10.
They're not really a great half-court team. They like to get the ball up in transition. Their big guys in particular are much better in transition. They're not real quick in terms of making decisions on the inside. And Connecticut has done a nice job keeping Iowa in half-court sets.
Alamine thought he had a turnover.
Lots of times they like to spread the court. They like to do those cuts down along the baseline, do the Hawkeyes. But as the clock runs down, they like Oliver to be able to penetrate and kick out to McCausland for the three. But the quickness of Connecticut is limiting their ability to do that.
Lorsman. McCausland saves it from going out of bounds. Range. And a blocking foul.
I don't know that that one's in the playbook. Range is a guy who's quicker than he looks, and he just takes the ball to the basket. What we were just talking about, Iowa with the floor spread looks for opportunities to penetrate with the dribble, and Connecticut defenders just can't get there in time.
So Joey Range, a freshman. And the first one is good.
Tom Davis talking to Oliver. Oliver, again, a very important factor in this game. He's got to be able to handle that Connecticut pressure.
Second one no good. Look, Elamine with the rebound as he boxed out the shooter. Hamilton wide open in the corner. Got it. Rip Hamilton.
And Tom Davis really upset.
And look at the shooting. Connecticut, 75%. 12 of 16.
And Freeman is going to be called for the foul, hanging on to Jeff Settles. Jim Calhoun, now it's his turn to be upset. Tom Davis was exercised because Connecticut, he feels, was touching the ball and knocking it away, giving them a chance to set their defense. Iowa.
Number 20, Oliver returning.
That's what he's telling the officials right now. He's saying, hey, they're knocking the ball away, slowing us down on offense.
So 1-and-1 situation. 5:49 to go in the first half of play. UConn up 32-25. The Huskies shooting 75% from the field so far. Settles with the free throw.
Gus, you just get the idea that if you're going to shoot 75%, you better put the opposition away. Iowa's still hanging in there, even though Connecticut has shot the ball that well. Iowa's still within 6, now 5.
Second one by Settles is good. Connecticut 12 of 16 shooting. Iowa not doing a bad job either. They're 9 of 19, 47%. Hamilton dribbles right off of his foot, and the Huskies turn it over. And the bracket here, the West Regional, Connecticut, Iowa. The winner plays Gonzaga, who knocked off Florida with 4 seconds to go earlier today.
Connecticut stays in the man-to-man defense.
Luersman. Here's Oliver. 12 on the shot clock. High pick and roll again. Oliver, the runner, off the glass hard, won't stay down. Loose ball, bodies on the floor. Freeman got it. And we head the other way. And the game summary. UConn 75% shooting. Iowa also burning it up. And the turnovers with the Hawkeyes staying in this game with nice three-point shooting. And Connecticut perfect as well, 4-4.
Key to the game thus far has been the fact that early Connecticut forced turnovers and got an awful lot of easy baskets. Iowa now with their pressure 1-2-1-1, and they have only been able to generate one turnover from the pressure. It's a little bit harder play now because it's a spot throw in. That means that Bosco's not allowed to run along the base.
And he goes for the home run, and I think they need to sign that kid up for the football team. He tossed that one a pretty long way.
Doesn't count if he just tosses it a long way. You got to throw it to somebody. And Bosco, recognizing that Iowa is vulnerable to that long pass, the basketball court, however, is only 94 feet long, and he aired that one down there about 110.
6 turnovers for the Huskies. Luersman inbounding. Oliver. Ricky Moore quickly on him.
And that's a good play by Moore because Oliver can shoot the three.
Koch in the pivot. Luersman looks at the basket and knocks it down. That's a 2. Hamilton the other way with numbers. Lobs it. Freeman. And he kisses it off the glass.
Connecticut has really generated some offense as a result of the Iowa press. They are just too
wide press.
Trying to press to keep the tempo of the game changed. You don't want Connecticut to get comfortable. But it looks like they're very comfortable against the press. Plus, Gus, pressing is what Iowa does. And they're not going to change their style of play just because they're playing a team that right at the moment is handling the press. The press over time might have a cumulative effect.
Okay. Good point, partner. 4:10 to go first half. UConn up 34-29. Here's number 1 against the number 5. Hamilton settles with the rebound. Hamilton 3 of 7 from the field shooting. Luersman. And Freeman ripped it down.
Connecticut is playing a solid defensive game. A lot of these Iowa shots are really tough shots.
.333 to go. Ricky Moore to Hamilton. High rebound. Bauer snags it out of the air. Luersman short. 34-29. Connecticut leads Iowa. 3:17 to go in the first half of play. 34-29, Connecticut leads Iowa and the databank.
You can see Connecticut right up at the top in Sweet 16 appearances in the 90s. The problem for the Huskies is they have not gone on to the Final Four.
And right now, what Iowa needs, though, they need some stops on defense.
You're absolutely right. Connecticut with 30 possessions thus far in the basketball game, and with those 30 possessions, they've scored 34 points. That is tremendous offensive efficiency.
Inside, Saunders, and a whistle. And a foul on the way.
And they're going to call that foul on Luersman pushing off, McCausland pushing off to get that rebound. There was a lot of congestion on the inside.
Now coming up on Pennzoil at the half, Greg Gumbel and Clark Kellogg will get you updated on all the tournament news, plus a live look at the Ohio State-Auburn game. That's all coming up on Pennzoil at the half. 3:04 to go in the first half. UConn up 34-29.
And now Iowa back with that 1-2-2 or 3-2 zone look. This time Oliver playing in the middle. As the ball goes down to the corner, Oliver will drop down into the middle of that zone.
Saunders, Elamine, got the screen, leaks back out, Elamine, out pass, no looker, great play to Hamilton.
He is so quick with the basketball.
It's almost like he's got eyes in the back of his head. He's been able to put that ball on a dime.
You certainly know if you're open, he's going to find you. Connecticut stays in the man-to-man.
Rucker, baseline jumper.
And Rucker goes down hard. He turned that ankle.
Rucker gets up limping.
Young man has been suffering from the flu now, an ankle problem. Elamine misses the three.
Oliver with the rebound, 36-31. Jump stop for three. And Saunders with the board. Iowa's got to get something from their backcourt. Saunders, the little baby jump shot in the lane is in.
And again, Iowa not able to get the stop. When they do get the stop, they haven't been real successful at converting down on the other end to slice into this lead.
See if they look for McCausland on this possession.
Hamilton guarding McCausland, and he is well aware of McCausland's ability from beyond the arc.
Jakes. Bosco with the rebound.
That's not the shot that Iowa was looking for.
Saunders turns it over and travels. 1:10 to go here in the first half of play. Connecticut up 38-31.
The Connecticut defense has been very effective at shutting off what Iowa has wanted to do for the most part.
This is UConn's biggest lead, Danny, with 1:10 to go. But if you're Iowa, you have to be happy that you're still in striking distance with a minute to go in the half.
With as well as Connecticut has shot the ball, but Connecticut a very explosive team. If you're Iowa, you'd like to get a couple of scores. You don't want to get down double digits at halftime after being so close for most of the half.
Settles, wraps around inside, leans in, short, got it back, he's fouled. He's a sixth-year senior, given a medical red shirt because he's had back problems his entire career at Iowa. And that's a veteran move right there to get to the foul line.
In 1996 in the NCAA tournament over in Tempe, Jess Settles put on one of the toughest performances that I've ever seen. This guy is really a tough character, and he's still got the back problems. They haven't gone away. He's just decided to play in spite of it.
First free throw is good with 50.1 to go. Jess Settles in the first game against UAB, 17, 8 against Arkansas, 9 and 7 rebounding.
Impressive that Iowa was able to win the game against Arkansas with Settles not shooting the ball well.
Got the second free throw, 38-33.
Now if you're Iowa, you want to get a stop right here. Here's a little different kind of pressure, the man-to-man about three-quarter court. But if you're Iowa, you'd like to get a stop and then get down and score.
I tell you, with this Elamine, Connecticut, one of the hardest teams to press. He is so smart, has so much savvy with the basketball. Here he is, down the lane.
Oh, what a pass!
Look at it. Made possible by Khalid Elamine.
But you make a pass like that to a guy who can finish like Hamilton, and it's almost a guarantee down there.
Rip with 12. 14 seconds to go. Shot clock turned off. UConn up 40-33.
And with as well as Connecticut. Now, Settles is going to get himself a foul, elbowing Freeman.
Oliver, 4 to shoot. Jake, pump fake. No! He short-armed it, and he is really upset with himself. But with 6/10 of a second to go, he's heading to the line.
Now Saunders going after Settles. Settles and Freeman got tied up at the top of the key and started elbowing one another. And now Saunders has something to say to Jess Settles. And these are two important free throws for Iowa. I think Tom Davis would be happy to go in down 5 at halftime.
Jake's a 64% free throw shooter from Cedar Rapids. And the first is good. Iowa as a team, they also shoot a nice percentage, 70%.
See if Bosco can throw the ball the length of the court again.
I think he can get it down there, that's for sure.
Got to find somebody in the white shirt. He threw it to the folks in the Iowa band the last time.
One, coming at you.
And the second one good as well, 6-10. And J.R. Koch quickly comes into the game.
Koch is coming in so he can get his hands up in there. 6'10" guy.
Ricky Moore. No good. So, after one half of play, UConn leads at 40-35. Britt Hamilton with 12 points and Elamine with 11. And some kind of fight breaking out, or an altercation. Elamine
and Jake's getting tangled up with something. I don't know what that was all about. Elamine is not where he's supposed to be. Iowa exiting on that end of the court. Elamine had to come all the way down the court to do that. Normally a very smart young man. Elamine is not where he's supposed to be, and he's fighting with some guy who's 6'9". Teams leaving the court. Connecticut exiting the other way. Iowa coming off, and Elamine gets right in the middle on the left-hand part of your screen with Jakes. Elamine had to go there to start that.
And let's go to Barry Booker, who's with Jim Calhoun.
Coach Calhoun, what was that all about just now? Well, I tell you, there's a lot of physical contact in the game, and I asked the pitchers to kind of clean up because I really don't want either team to get any kind of problem. I think you need to calm everybody down a little bit by a little tighter whistles. Thanks, Coach. Gus?
And that's the end of the first half of play with the score. UConn leads Iowa 40-35. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
With an 83-year truck heritage behind us, we decided to try something a little different. Introducing the 215 horsepower Rally Sport inspired Isuzu V-Cross. Theoretically, still a truck.
This is a cool way to see the games. Stats, play-by-play, shot charts. I love technology. Tournament live, only at cbs.sportsline.com.
Craig Kilborn, coming to CBS March 30th.
The all-new Volkswagen Golf. It's smarter looking, at least.
Preferred service system, linked by network, so without so much as signing a name, your car and keys are waiting. Still, at Avis, we know technology doesn't try harder. People do.
Running late, Mr. Spencer?
Yeah, huge presentation.
How about I call ahead for directions?
That would be great.
I'll drop you right at your car.
Speed and personal service. It's what everyone at Avis is dedicated to delivering. We try harder for you.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half, sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hi once again, everyone. Greg Gumbel. Welcome once again to Pennzoil at the Half. Our score at halftime, UConn 40, Iowa 35. I'm joined by Clark Kellogg. They are not going to be taking tea together at halftime because there was a slight disagreement. What do you think was going on?
Well, I think basically what happened was the game was very physical within the 20 minutes being played, and then at the end, there was an altercation between Joey Range and Khalid Elamine. We're going to take a look right there in the middle of your screen. A little brush of the shoulders and then a rake of the face of Elamine by Range, and that kind of set things off to the point where you had a little bit of friction. But
Iowa is a very physical team, Greg. They don't allow you to do what you want to do. And I think maybe a little bit of frustration on the part of UConn because they've not been able to extend the lead like they have in their first 2 games.
All right, Clark, we won't allow a hockey game out there. Let's take you now to Knoxville, where Ohio State and Auburn are doing battle in the second half. Right now, the Buckeyes with a 5-point lead on the top seed Tiger. Let's join Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery live.
Ohio State leads by 4. Doc Robinson makes it 2 out of 2 on that trip to the line for Auburn. And it's a 3-point game, 16:40 remaining. In the 90s, only one #1 seed in the South has made it to the Final Four. That was Kentucky in 93. Auburn is the #1 seed in the South this year and in a real battle with the 4 seed Ohio State.
Look at this guy back in and get a good look. Michael Redd.
And it's the shot and Porter control.
Hey, the big difference, I think, with Ohio State has been able to isolate, space a little bit on the offensive end, and Auburn trying to pick up tempo now, a little in their favor.
Johnson steps out on Robinson. Porter's 10 rebounds tonight. Smith might have been fouled by Red on the 3. Penn. They look away pass to Brown, and a foul call.
Do they clean it up, though? They missed. They got a counter.
Foul on Porter, his second, the team's 4th. St. John's a winner here earlier this evening against Maryland. 14-point win for the Red Storm. So St. John's awaits the winner of this one. Eric Barkley, the freshman point guard, 24 points, 9 assists. Maryland scoreless over the last 8:26 of the first half.
And that little shot tells you about the Ohio State program. He only has to talk to one guy, that's Scoonie Penn, Jim O'Brien. And then he understands exactly, or as Jimmy has said, lets him recommend some things that he has seen on the floor.
Ryan Brown makes 2 free throws to lead back to 5 for Ohio State.
And Cliff Ellis wanted it inside. They're looking for that jumper. A little zone look right now by Ohio State.
Damian Fishback with a very good first half. Now Robinson back for Fishback. They're looking inside. A 3-second violation called against Mamadou Njai.
Oh.
15:42 remaining. The #1 seed in the South in a real struggle with Ohio State.
I found I was missing all sensation of sight. It was so dark underground, we had seen no light for days. It was visible how there was the enemy. But they were fighting against their better nature.
For those who combine a passion for living with a passion for living. The Volvo C70 convertible.
5-5, just under 16 minutes remaining here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's check the data bank. We again gave it away a moment ago. In the 90s, only one #1 seed from the South region. It used to be the Southeast, but from this region has made it to the Final Four. That was Kentucky in 93. They lost in the national semifinal to Michigan in overtime. But look at all these other #1 seeds from the South that went home earlier than expected.
It's a bad distinction to have, it looks like, but if Auburn is going to escape that list, it's going to have to get it out of some defense and establish low. They have not done that in either case.
And from this regional semifinal, we have the top 4 seeds. Tournament expanded to 64 teams in 1985, and this is only the 8th time since 85 that the top 4 seeds in a region have all advanced to that region's semifinal. Shooting is a lot better here in the second half. Quality of play a little bit better too. When they shoot better, everything looks better.
Yeah, it sure does. It complements your defense. And I think they ran a trap now, Auburn, on the sideline here. Tough spot to inbound the ball. You got to go deep, I think.
And Brown does go deep. Jason Singleton still not back on the court. Michelle Tafoya tells us from the Ohio State bench area that he aggravated a left ankle injury, a chronic injury, had it retaped. They do anticipate that he could return.
And they try to get closer with each weave exchange. Pretty dish.
Reese missed a runner. Foul on Auburn on the rebounding action. Well, the fouls were dramatically tilted in Auburn's favor. Ohio State 10, Auburn 2 fouls in the first half. Now it's 5 Auburn fouls and 1 on Ohio State in the second half.
Drive, draw, and deliver. And you can see the offensive rebound. You can't blame Cliff Ellis was up. Not happy with that call.
2 fouls on Robinson. 5.
So the Buckeyes with a 5-point lead on Auburn. The winner moves on to play St. John's on Saturday. Earlier today in Phoenix, Gonzaga, the number 10 seed in the West, knocked off Florida 73-72. Gonzaga cheerleaders knew something was up. Bulldogs and Gators in a battle early.
And Richie Fromm was stroking it in the second half, one of his 5 3-pointers in the second half.
Florida responds. Gus Johnson with the call down the stretch.
Shot clock turned off. Calvary. Hall. 8 to shoot. Hall. The runner. Loose ball. It's good. With 4.4 to go. Shannon.
Don't want to foul.
Shannon from the corner. And it's over. Gonzaga. The slipper still fits.
The farther you go, the bigger the challenge is. And we know that we got our work cut out on Saturday, but we're just excited that we're playing on Saturday. And we'll just go from there.
Gonzaga meets the winner of UConn versus Iowa. Can you believe 10 seeds are 8-1 in the tournament thus far?
Wow.
Join us tomorrow here on CBS. We all begin at 7:30 Eastern Time, and then at 7:38 Southwest Missouri State against top seed Duke in the East, and then the top seed in the Midwest, Michigan State against Oklahoma. Later that night, Purdue against Temple, and Miami takes on defending national champion Kentucky. We'll take a timeout here, and then we'll come back with second half action between UConn and Iowa. Richard Hamilton of the Huskies leading the way with 12 points.
Pennzoil at the Half has been sponsored by Pennzoil. Specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil. NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Saturn, Microsoft, Charles Schwab, and by Nike.
Ready for the second half of play. Connecticut up by 5. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner, and at the end of the first half of play, temper is starting to flare a little bit.
Little extracurricular activity. Khalid El-Amin is not where he's supposed to be, but you can sort of understand why Joey Range, as he walks by, sort of gives him the old cuff across the face. Now El-Amin turns around, and what happens here is El-Amin goes after Range, and Jakes is trying to break things up, pulls El-Amin off, and now El-Amin goes after Jakes. The officials looked at all of that. A few moments ago, referee Jody Sylvester talking to both the coaches before they left the court at halftime. The officials reviewed the videotape of that incident and decided that nothing needed to be called.
So El-Amin and company ready to come back onto the floor, and the statistics from the first half of play. Look at the percentage that Connecticut shot in the first half, 64%. Iowa doing a good job from the three-point line.
And El-Amin just had an outstanding first half, but you have to understand, Gus, how important you are to your team, and you can't let yourself get caught up in that kind of business, not in this kind of a game.
Lob to Koch, right through his hands. El-Amin, who had 11 points, 5 assists, and 2 rebounds in the first half of play. Ricky Moore, inside Freeman, blocked by Settles. And Iowa gets a stop. Can they go to the basket? Oliver double. Oh! And they got it to 3.
They keep hanging around.
Ricky Moore. Freeman. Pump. No basket. Foul on the floor.
Oliver, again, is one of those guys who you let him alone in transition. You give him a chance to use that dribble, he's going to hurt you. That is just a spectacular shot. Moore actually does a pretty good job moving his feet, not allowing Oliver to get all the way to the basket. Forces him to loft it up over top of Vosco. That's a great play.
He's from Mason City, Iowa, and as a high school senior was Mr. Basketball in the state. Inside, Koch snatches it down on the Hamilton miss. Oliver the other way. And the 3, off the dribble, down the lane, and he's fouled. Wise decision by the sophomore.
A real good decision to go into the lane because you figure, particularly with that incident right at the half, that the officials are going to be calling things a little more closely to start the second half.
At the end of the first half, Jim Calhoun himself, the head coach for Connecticut, asked for that.
Well, but he meant he wanted him to call more fouls on Iowa.
He did say for both teams. And Oliver misses the first.
I'm really glad that nothing came of that. It would be a shame if Khalid El-Amin got himself, you know, in trouble because he's just too good a player. And he did have justification for doing that. He shouldn't have gone after the guy, but you can understand why.
Almost walked. El-Amin got the screen, hops inside. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by the Huskies.
And El-Amin really thought he had that one down. If you're Khalid El-Amin, you want to make Iowa pay for that, then that's how you do it. You get inside, you score, you create opportunity.
Iowa down by 3. Koch, McCausland, Oliver, Settles, and Bauer on the court for the Hawkeyes. Oliver trying to take more off the dribble. Stop and start. Stripped away by El-Amin. Into the front court. Freeman. Two-hand jam.
Take that.
He is so good, folks. 42-37. Settles. Hops off the glass, and he banks it home. Full court pressure by Iowa.
It appears that we picked up exactly where we left off.
El-Amin the other way, cut off by Bauer. Hamilton in the corner, goes baseline, he's fouled.
Connecticut very quick on the attack thus far in the second half, not really giving Iowa a chance to try to be able to set its defense.
Second team foul called against the Hawkeyes. And Koch picks up foul number 1. McCausland out of the game, Luersman back in. So the backcourt has Oliver and Luersman along with Bauer.
Oh, and here is Settles and Bosco really going after one another. Jeff Settles is a very aggressive player, and here he just lays the wood to Jake Bosco, pushes him out of the way.
Settles with 1 foul.
A very small lineup in the game for Iowa.
El-Amin in and out. And El-Amin picks up the rebound. And a new shot clock. And a whistle and foul away from the ball. This time, it's Voskuhl, and he has some words for John Sweeney, the official. He better be careful. He's still talking.
It's Voskuhl and it's Settles, and Voskuhl puts an elbow and moves him out of the way. That's 3 personal fouls on Jake Voskuhl, and you just have to understand what's going on in this game. The officials are looking at things. They're going to call it a little bit more closely. You can't make that kind of a play.
Luersman in the low post to range. Back to Luersman. Range, wheels, nice play.
6'5", 200 pounds. He's got the strength once he gets down in there to do some damage. And that's a turnover. Wong threw it off the back of the backboard.
Momentum shifting here.
You talked in the first half about why keep up the pressure. Well, you're going to get a turnover if that's your style of play. And Tom Davis's crew getting it that time.
Jakes. Iowa can take the lead on this trip. They've trailed by as many as 7. And look at Connecticut this half, 1 of 7.
After 64% in the first half.
And I tell you what, from where I sit, this Iowa run started as they went into halftime, and Khalid El-Amin was bumped by range. They've been playing physical Iowa here in the second half, and it's really thrown Connecticut out of their groove. got all ball on that play. Take another look.
This is a tough pass. Jakes actually does a pretty good job turning into the lane.
It's a good call.
Replay, it looked like he had his hand right on top of the ball.
The Academic All-Stars recognize one player on each team for academic excellence. For tonight's game, the All-Stars are Jess Settles for Iowa, an elementary education major, and Rip Hamilton for Connecticut, communication sciences. And Settles communicating all right now. He has really started to step up his physical play. Jakes. And he got the bounce. And Iowa takes the lead.
That's something that I don't know is part of the Iowa playbook. Jakes taking it down the lane and making a scoop shot.
Elamine tripping, kept his dribble, and moves up the floor. Elamine, and he lays it in himself.
Now you want some tough play. Elamine will give you some tough play.
He's one of the toughest in the country.
What an outstanding play to keep your dribble when you fall down.
Here's Rain. UConn back up by 1. Norseman cut off by Elamine.
Jakes really working hard inside against Saunders.
And Norseman sets it up again. Around the high screen. 4 to shoot. Inside. Jakes fouled, and he heads to the line.
Jakes fouled on that particular occasion, but he had a big basket 2 trips ago for Iowa. Sliding down the lane with the scoop shot and range, very nearly touched it and didn't. But you want to talk about toughness. Khalid Elamine gets up off the floor all the way down the court through 4 Iowa defenders.
Foul called on Saunders, his second. 3rd team foul against UConn.
Keep in mind that Bosco has 3 personal fouls.
And Jakes short on the first. E.J. Harrison coming into the game now for the Huskies, and Elamine takes a seat. Second one is good. 15:29 to go. 44 apiece here in Arizona. Iowa, Connecticut tied at 44 in game 1. Gonzaga down by 1. Quentin Hall going to the basket, and watch Casey Calvary tip it in with 4.4 to go. Eddie Shannon with the last chance for Florida, and Gonzaga moves on. And the heroes, Richie Fromm had 3 points at halftime, ended with 17 and 5 threes. And Casey Calvary with the big tip-in. And look at the 2 Munsons, Don and Dan. And now the younger can talk a little mess to the older because he's gone farther.
Absolutely. The older went to the Sweet 16 in 1982 with Iowa, and now Dan Munson into the Elite 8.
But he's right up there sitting next to his dad. Probably the 2 of them scouting together. They play the winner of this game. Ricky Moore. And look how Bauer's sagging off of Moore. He's daring him to take that shot right there.
Iowa playing in that zone again. They're trying to find Hamilton.
Hamilton missing. Rebounded by Rucker. Hamilton 5 of 12 from the field. He has 12 points.
And if you're Connecticut, you really have to pay attention to McCausland now. And there's an illegal screen set by Jakes. So Connecticut will get the turnover. And then Iowa was trying to get McCausland open. But a great job by Richard Hamilton.
So Jakes sits on the bench, and Koch back into the game along with Oliver, Bauer, McCausland, and Rucker for UConn. Mooring, Rip Hamilton, Elamine, Voskuhl, and Saunders.
Keep in mind that Jake Voskuhl playing with those 3 personal fouls.
UConn in white, Iowa in black.
Iowa with that 3-2 zone look right at the moment.
Mooring steps up, beat his man, and hit the runner from 15.
Tom Davis telling the officials he thought that was a walk.
And he has 8 points.
Hit 2 big threes in the first half. Connecticut stays in the man-to-man. Hamilton is matched up against McCausland, and he's done a great job all evening.
McCausland cannot shake him. Inside, Rucker. Drop step, baseline, cut off. Inside, Koch. He's fouled from behind by Saunders.
That was a nice job by Rucker to make the pass. 3 fouls now against Saunders. Voskuhl kept Rucker from getting to the basket, and Rucker, realizing that he was too far out on the court to attempt the turnaround jump shot, found Koch underneath.
So J.R. Koch, a senior, a 74% free throw shooter. And he's been through a lot of ups and downs here at Iowa. They expected a lot out of him coming out of high school sometime. He has been booed while playing at Iowa by the student section and the numbers on the mayor.
2 very solid games for Iowa. When Iowa plays a lot of people, they spread the offense around, so 12 points hopefully will be good. It's a pretty good game for an Iowa big man.
Got both of them. 13:49 to go, second half of play. We're knotted up at 46. Connecticut, the #1 seed against Iowa. They are a #5. Mooring down the baseline.
Foul against Settles out on the perimeter. Mooring, even though he has had that knee injury, didn't look slow there. He just blew by Settles.
Elamine lobs it up top. Settles with 3 fouls now. Iowa continuing to pack it in. Elamine, pull-up jumper. Got it.
And you can only pack it in if the opponent is not going to hit successfully from the outside. And Elamine finally accepting the dare right there and drilling it.
Khalid Elamine with 16 points and 6 assists. Freeman with the steal.
What a play to tip the ball ahead to himself.
For the basket, missed it. Hamilton, tie up, and Iowa should get the ball.
Freeman laughing about this because he did a great job tipping it.
So they're going to give it back to Connecticut.
Right direction for defense. It was defense, not all the... He pointed the wrong way. It's Iowa's ball.
And you are exactly right. Iowa gets it back.
The determining factor as to who's the offense and who's the defense is who has the ball. If you have the ball, you're the offense. And Hamilton got the rebound. He had possession of it. That makes him the offense, and then he was tied up. And that, of course, is a new rule this year. If the defense initiates a held ball, the defense gets it. Jim Calhoun is very disgusted by this development. Iowa now has a chance to get within 1 or tie the game. I don't think they want to let Connecticut get another one of those working margins of 7 or 8 points in the second half.
Range on the wing. Koch has hit some big threes for him today, too.
And as a result, he's got Voskuhl's undivided attention. The shot clock running down.
Oliver, hesitation, pump fake. No call.
Good defense.
Tried to draw it, Settles with the steal, and Oliver is fouled by Elamine. Elamine is hot.
Elamine is hot at Freeman. Freeman and Elamine exchanged some words, but Elamine is this team's leader. If somebody's got to bark at a teammate, it's Khalid Elamine. And he was upset with the pass that Freeman threw. Not a good pass. Settles gets over there. Elamine going for the ball. Gets the foul, and he turns around and tells Freeman. Freeman's got to make a better pass. Elamine's got the free foul.
And he takes a seat on the bench. Ricky Moore, Mooring, Freeman, Hamilton, and Voskuhl on the court for the Connecticut Huskies. Luersman back in along with Range, Rucker, McCausland, and Jakes. Iowa, they've gone 4 minutes without a field goal, but McCausland answers, and he ties it at 49. Full court pressure. Into the front court, Hamilton. Hesitation, pushed off, and hit the bunny.
That's a great play by Hamilton in transition with a guy down at his feet. Mooring now matched up against McCausland. Man-to-man.
Luersman kicks it out. 13 to shoot. Range off the dribble. Changed his shot and banked it home.
He has made some big baskets in this game. That was just nothing more than a power move.
Now Iowa in the diamond press. Ricky Moore over the midcourt line. Hamilton down the lane and a blocking foul against the Hawkeyes.
Range is going to pick up that foul. Hamilton really showing you some quickness in transition. We've talked about Oliver and his transition quickness. Hamilton has every bit as much.
11:01 to go in the second half. We're tied at 51.
Exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Chevrolet Trucks and by Miller Lite.
The game summary with 11:01 remaining. Both teams shooting a very high percentage. Gus Johnson along with Dan Bonner. Dan with 11 minutes and a second to go. We've got a tie basketball game.
And I think that and the longer it stays that way, the more pressure there is on Connecticut. These kids know about all this talk with the not getting to the Final Four, and you wonder how they're going to react to that pressure going down the stretch.
And a timeout called by Moore. He couldn't get it in bounds. Now Monday on CBS, more and more people are discovering that Everybody Loves Raymond is the funniest show on television. And once you start watching, you'll know why. Check it out, Monday, 9, 8 Central, right here on CBS. Connecticut and Iowa. This is the second meeting between these two squads. The first one came in the semifinals of the 1996 Great Alaska Shootout, where the Hawkeyes won the game 101-95 in overtime. Jess Settles had 14 points in that game for Iowa. Here's Moore, along with Mooring, Hamilton, Voskuhl, and Freeman for Connecticut in white.
Elamine's getting up off the bench and reporting to the scores table, so he'll be in at the next dead ball.
Ricky Moore for 3. Loose ball right into the hands of Hamilton. The ball was tapped by Mooring right to him.
Great job by Mooring. Iowa with the small lineup in the game, and Luersman simply wasn't able to grab the rebound away from Mooring.
They swing it. Oliver. Jakes in the pivot. Jakes again. Drop step. Cut off. Range. Hops. Rucker. The bunny. Got it. And we're tied at 53 again.
Range really doing a nice job. Now Jody Sylvester's going to stop and tell Jakes that he can't go over that baseline.
Hamilton to Ricky Moore. Iowa continuing to press. Moore to Mooring. Short. Rucker with the two-hand rebound. The junior from Inkster, Michigan. Luersman, quick fire. Hamilton to Freeman all alone. Two-hand slam.
That's a big, big turnaround. Luersman had a wide open look at 3 and didn't get it. And because the rebound came out long, Freeman gets the run-out basket.
Iowa very disciplined in this half-court set.
Connecticut stays in the man-to-man. Range has really been good down at the end of the shot clock, getting that big body inside.
Jakes, nice look. Rucker missed the layup. Hamilton. Hamilton, the 15-footer, rebounded by Jakes. And Rip Hamilton, 7 of 15 now from the field.
And that was one Hamilton would like to have back. He normally was going to make that shot.
No question. UConn in the man-to-man.
Boston can afford to play way off Rucker when Rucker has the ball on the perimeter, but now you've got to help defend these screens.
Oliver around the screen, wraps it around, dangerous pass, range to Jakes, nice hands, he's triple teamed and traveled. For Iowa, into the game, McCausland settles, and Koch, range, takes the seat along with Rucker and Oliver.
Outstanding defense by Connecticut. That was a great defensive series.
And a timeout called by UConn. And Jim Calhoun, he says, hey, you're burning my timeouts. Now, tomorrow we have more regional semifinal action. Southwest Missouri State, Steve Alford and his dad on the bench for Southwest Missouri State. They take on Duke. Oklahoma and Michigan State in the Midwest. Tom Davis and his team trying to advance.
Temple playing Purdue in the East.
55-53, UConn leading Iowa. 8:30 to go here in the second half of play. Elamine, high pick and roll, inside, cut off.
Iowa back in that zone.
Hamilton. There you go. Rip Hamilton.
Luersman simply not tall enough to defend Hamilton when he's going to make that spin. What a great stop and rising for the jump shot.
He's got 18. UConn extending their lead, 57-53. Iowa cannot afford to fall too far back in this game with the Huskies.
They want to consider getting the ball inside the Koch against Bosco. Now there, Bosco gets the fourth personal foul, and he starts to tear his jersey off. He better be careful. You don't want to get a technical in this situation.
7:45 to go here in the second half. 57-53 UConn.
Connecticut up by 4, and what you have is the officials' view of the game. Watch the left arm of Jake Bosco. It's wrapped around J.R. Koch, and whether there's a lot of contact there or not, the official doesn't know that. All he sees is the arm wrapped around him, and Bosco picks up his fourth personal foul.
And sits on the bench. Connecticut up 57-53. Here's Koch.
And Vaughn is going to be asked to play some important minutes for the Huskies of Connecticut.
Each team with 16 fouls. Next one a shooting foul. McCausland, quick release, short. Rebounded, settles inside. And Oliver.
That was a tough rebound by Settles and a good decision to pass it out.
On the block in the pivot. Settles off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Moore. Saunders. Hamilton. Great catch. And he's fouled. And the game reset. Iowa 17 fouls. Connecticut 6. 120 for the Hawkeyes. None remaining for UConn. Each team with 2 fulls.
Greg Gumbel in New York. Iowa, UConn coming down the stretch. However, we want to take you over to Ohio State and Auburn. 5-point game at this point, under a minute to play. Let's check in with Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery. So So there's a timeout now taking place in Knoxville, Tennessee. We will keep you updated on what's happening. Ohio State now with a 7-point lead. So let's take you back to the America West Arena. Iowa and UConn with 7 minutes and 1 second remaining in the game, and rejoin Gus and Dan.
7:01 to go in the second half. UConn up 58-53. This game has been back and forth here in the second half of play. UConn led by as many as 7 in the first half. Both free throws good for Richard Hamilton. And the Huskies take a 59-53 lead. They're on a 6-0 run.
Man-to-man defense for Connecticut. They have played good defense the last couple of Iowa possessions, and that's the key to the 6-0 run. Iowa really has not had a good look at the basket last couple of possessions.
Range, drop step, and he hits it. Just hung in the air. Range has been really prolific in the low post. He has 7 points. Elamine
done a nice job getting the ball inside, and Elamine has been prolific getting the ball up the court.
And Hamilton off the back rim. Rucker with the rebound to Oliver. And Oliver fouled. He shoots. 1-1. Elamine can't believe it.
And that foul is against Elamine, and that's number 4. So some real problems for the Huskies. Bosco already on the bench with 4. Now Elamine has 4. Oliver is a guy who is very dangerous in transition. He leaves his feet, and Elamine bails him out with the body. Drops the arm as well. Oliver is in trouble right there, and Elamine crashes right into him. Really gave the official no choice.
Dean Oliver, 73% free throw shooter. 1-1. And he missed it.
If you're going to beat a team like Connecticut, you've got to take advantage of every opportunity.
Ricky Moore. Freeman flashing. Jump hook inside. Nice play.
With the left hand up over Koch. Koch has something to say to the official. Felt like Freeman pushed off. Now this is a big possession for Iowa.
Oliver pull up 3. Back door rather. Rucker. That fooled everybody.
That's that Iowa shot lob. They act like they're shooting the ball. Everybody turns around for the rebound, but it's actually a lob pass. The Hawkeyes executed well.
Rucker with 8. 5 and 17 to go in the second half. 61-57. Huskies. Mooring for 3. Repped it. That kid has really shot the ball well. Mooring with 11 points. He's 4 of 5 from the field.
And that is a big, big three-point basket.
Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Huskies.
Talk about the shot lobs, and what's going to happen is this is the area down in here where they're looking for. They're going to take the shot from the corner. Rucker just cuts right to the basket, gets it, sticks it in.
Rucker inside again. Pull-up jump shot. No good. Moore with the board. Ricky Moore with 5 rebounds.
And now Iowa really needs a defensive stop. Connecticut could afford to take their time. Hamilton trying to get position down underneath, coming out to the court.
Power swiping at the ball. 10 to shoot. Hamilton in the corner. Mooring explodes. Power with the rebound. McCausland. And Hamilton got up on him quickly. Won't allow him to pull up for that 3.
Connecticut has done a nice job getting the defense set, forcing Iowa to run time off the clock.
10 on the shot clock. Norsman to the basket all alone. He blew it. Loose ball. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Huskies. 3:47 to go. 64-57.
Connecticut with the 7-point lead, and defensively they're taking Iowa's shooter Kent McCausland out of the game, and it's Richard Hamilton really doing a nice job staying with him. McCausland may be open for a moment underneath the basket, but with a 3-inch height advantage, Hamilton can handle that, and when McCausland goes out on the perimeter, Hamilton's all over him.
Greg Gumbel in New York. We'll come back to Iowa and UConn, but right now they're about to wind down in Knoxville, where Ohio State has the lead on top seed Auburn. Sean McDonough and Bill Raftery are there.
6.5 seconds left. Ohio State leads by 6. Time for the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. Chris Porter, a double-double before fouling out for Auburn, and Scoonie Penn, 24 points, 17 of them in the second half. Many of them scored while playing with 4 fouls, and we've seen in this game, Bill, he truly is probably the most valuable player in the country to his team.
Incredible what he's been able to do is they get the ball in his hands. Scoonie Penn, you know, he can make free throws. Jimmy O'Brien relies on him to make a lot of decisions, and with all of the rotations, the one thing with about 10 left, they got Penn back in the game with the 4 fouls. He didn't foul, didn't create any problems from that end, and just counter with running the show.
Well, you can add Auburn to this list. You don't want to be the #1 seed in the South in the 90s. Only one to the Final Four. Kentucky was out in the national semifinals in '93. Penn, you think about it, Bill, 8 wins last year. He's the only major difference among the play personnel. They have a couple of freshmen who've given them nice contributions, especially lately Brown. But they go from 8 wins last year to 26 now, and he's really the only difference.
Well, you also have to appreciate what Red has done within his framework mentally. And you're right, he's the guy that stirs everything, gets everybody involved. And Michael Red loving the winning end of it.
3 for Smith wouldn't go, and that's it.
So Ohio State Buckeyes knock off Auburn. Auburn, the first #1 seed to fall in the tournament this year. Ohio State moves on to play St. John's on Saturday. Let's take you to Phoenix, Iowa, and UConn. 65-57 Huskies. Gus Johnson, Dan Bonner.
3:04 to go in the second half of play. UConn with their biggest lead of the game, up 66-57. And a full timeout has been called. So with 3:04 to go, we'll be back to Phoenix after this. And the game reset. Both teams shooting 1 and 1. Iowa has 120, 1 full, and Connecticut only 2 fulls remaining. And the bracket here in the West Regional semifinal, Gonzaga advancing. They beat Florida 73-72, and they take on the winner of this game. Iowa down 66-57. McCausland, Oliver, Koch, Settles, and Bauer on the floor for the Hawkeyes. Here's Oliver around the screen. McCausland, quick release. It's an air ball right out of bounds.
That was good defense by Moore. At this point in the game, you know that Iowa has to go to McCausland, and Moore was all over him. Great defense.
And McCausland, he is a 3-point specialist, but they're guarding him so tough around the perimeter. How about driving the ball to the goal once or twice?
McCausland's really not the kind of a guy, Gus, that puts the ball on the deck and goes to the basket. If you can make him dribble, then you've really accomplished your goal.
Ricky Moore, along with Hamilton in the backcourt, Bosco, Freeman, and Elamine back into the game. He has 4 fouls. Freeman picks it out, 14 to shoot, 2:23 remaining. Now Elamine. Elamine, stop and start, foul. Now let's check out the CBS Sportsline stat of the game. Elamine wiped out on the baseline. Bosco's also shaken up a bit. Points in the paint dominated by Connecticut is the stat of the game. And Elamine gets up slowly. He's looking at his hand. He came into this game with 2 tender hamstrings. Earlier this season, he really pulled one of the hamstrings against Georgetown, his right hamstring.
Alameen has done a very good job getting to the basket in this game. Powerful move right there. He falls to the floor. And Voskuhl, I think, was actually coming over to congratulate him and slipped on a wet spot. Voskuhl comes in and gets him right in the stomach, and Voskuhl may have hurt himself. My goodness, you don't need congratulations like that.
So Khalid El-Amin, 16 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. A couple of steals also, misses the first. He shoots 77%. Second good. And a sub, Mooring, into the game. El-Amin takes a seat.
El-Amin in for the offense. He's got 4 personal fouls. You don't want to risk him on the defensive end. Iowa needs points quickly.
Oliver straight to the basket, off the glass, no good. Settled, strong rebound, and stick back. And timeout Iowa with 2:04 to go. Settled with 11.
And that's going to be a full timeout.
So a full timeout called by the Hawkeyes. 2:04 to go. They're down 67-59. More than just a coach to these Hawkeyes.
I think it's just, he's been recruiting us, been sending us letters, been talking to us on the phone since we were in 8th grade. And all the players are recruited by this guy. And he becomes your second father. You spend more time with Coach Davis than you do with your own parents. And he's just meant the world to our team, to our program. And we want to send him out with a bang. And it's his year, and it always has been.
Well-documented story. Tom Davis, his contract not renewed. He is coaching his final season. This possibly his final game. El-Amin fouled in the backcourt.
Part of the problem now for Iowa is that you've got to get fouls to get the ball back. In Connecticut, the guys they have on the floor are pretty good free throw shooters. You'd like to get Voskuhl if you could.
10th foul against Iowa. 2 shots coming up for El-Amin in the game reset. Iowa with only 1 22nd timeout remaining. Connecticut, they have 2 fulls. And El-Amin. This kid is a money player. He is a sophomore.
Sure is.
Always steps up in big games. And you talk about the teams that can potentially beat Duke. Connecticut, St. John's, they have to be considered.
I would certainly think so. And El-Amin is one of the big reasons why Connecticut might be able to handle the Blue Devils, because he's not going to fold under the Duke pressure.
Also, Michigan State, who lost to the Blue Devils earlier this season. Spartans down big, but rallied to come back and almost pulled it out. So 2 free throws good for Khalid El-Amin. 2:02 to go in the second half. Huskies lead at 69-59.
Connecticut defensively, you don't want to let Iowa get any quick scores, and you certainly don't want to give up any threes.
Settles, poked away. McCausland, baseline, out of bounds.
And Gus, it's beginning to look more and more like this will be Tom Davis's last game on the Iowa sideline.
And you have to mention his last game on the Iowa sideline. He is not ruled out coaching again.
Guy with a record who's Koch was out of bounds when that ball hit him. A man who has a record of 10, 20-win seasons in 13 years. You have to figure that somebody out there might be interested in a fellow with that kind of resume.
Rip Hamilton in the front court, and wisely he backs it out and milks the clock. Huskies now playing keep away and a foul away from the ball. And the Chevrolet most valuable players of the game, Jess Settles, the 6th-year senior, 11 points, 5 rebounds. And on the other side, the sophomore sensation, Khalid El-Amin, 19 points, and he dropped off 5 assists. Jake Bostel at the line. And the first is good.
Bosco only a 61% free throw shooter, but hit that one with a great deal of confidence, and that is probably enough.
Biggest lead of the game for UConn, 70-59. Make it 71-59, 1:37 to go in the second half of play. The winner takes on the Bulldogs from Gonzaga, a 10 seed. Oliver. Freeman with the rebound. And a foul. 1:24 to go. UConn fans on their feet right now. Tom Davis. He can sense that the end is near.
Tom Davis not giving up yet. He was getting on Kent McCausland there. He wanted McCausland to get a different foul. They did not want to foul Ricky Moore.
So Moore. First one is good. Ricky Moore also a solid game, especially on the defensive end. He has 6 points. Missed the second. Settles. Luresman for three. Got it. And he hit the three ball with 1:14 to go in the second half. Quick timeout by the Hawkeyes.
Luresman hits the three, but it's probably too little too late. Think back to earlier in the half with the score tied at 55. Luresman came down, missed the open three-point shot, and Freeman got a run-out dunk on the other end.
More NCAA basketball coming up tomorrow. Southwest Missouri State against Duke, Oklahoma, and Michigan State. Purdue, Temple, Miami of Ohio, Wally Serbiak against Kentucky.
Gus, we talked a lot about Cinderella being here, the number 10 seed Gonzaga, but how about Oklahoma, number 13 seed, arguably the last team placed in the NCAA tournament, and they're still playing. They have a chance against Michigan State tomorrow. Of course, Wally Serbiak against Kentucky. That ought to be an interesting ball game. Jess Settles and Jake Bosco. That is as pleasant as they have been toward one another all evening.
Elamine.
Of course, every foul a two-shot opportunity now for Connecticut. Elamine set the tone early, and then he set the tone late. Got Connecticut off and going, established the fact that Iowa was not going to be able to press him, just shredded the Iowa defense early in the game. And despite the fact that he picked up those 4 fouls and had to sit a good portion of the stretch drive, he's been a huge factor for Connecticut.
And he got both free throws. 1:11 to go second half. 74-62. The Huskies are headed for a date with the Bulldogs from Gonzaga.
Elamine right now, he's got every player's dream going. Luresman with another 3. Elamine's only has to play offense. He's not playing defense.
Lays it in. 57.6 remaining. 10-point lead.
Iowa out of timeout.
Hamilton. And the wrong guy to foul. It's Luresman. And here in the West, the bracket. UConn will take on Gonzaga, a number 1 versus a number 10.
And for the Huskies of Connecticut, the question is, can they finally break through and get to the Final Four?
The road really paved for them. Number 2, 3, and 4 seeds all knocked out. Stanford, North Carolina, and Arkansas. But they have to beat a very, very savvy Gonzaga squad.
team that can really shoot the threes. Connecticut did a great job tonight cutting off the three-point shooting of Iowa, but that three-point shooting is mainly in the hands of one guy, McCausland. Gonzaga's got a lot of folks who can fire the three.
For Gonzaga, they have 7 players that shoot 35% or better from the three-point line. Settles. Inside, Koch lays it in.
No quitting Iowa. They're still doing what they do best, and that is rebound the basketball.
Ricky Moore. And Hamilton, he'll hold on and draw the foul. And the Iowa bench. Dr. Tom Davis looking down his bench. Richard Hamilton at the line. Hamilton with 22 points. They get 23. And Dr. Tom Davis starting to put the subs in. Second free throw for Hamilton is good, and he empties his bench. Wants everybody to get an opportunity to play. And there's his wife. 13 seasons in Iowa. His wife, Sherry. Congratulating his men for a tough fight. Koch and McCausland and Settles. Here's Price. Taking the shot. Rebounded by Hamilton. With 29 seconds to go. Shot clock turned off. Iowa refusing the foul. 13. And a turnover.
Harrison trying to talk to Jim Calhoun, and Iowa took the ball.
Smith. Rebound and stick back. That's Gomez. He doesn't have a name on the back of his jersey. And that'll do it. The UConn Huskies have defeated the Hawkeyes from Iowa 78-68. The final game for Dr. Tom Davis at Iowa after 13 years. So the final 78-68 in a moment. We'll get you out to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Coach Jim Calhoun. Dan.
Thank you very much, Greg. Jim, a very physical, tough game for your ball club. What are your impressions?
Well, our football team's going 1A. I thought we were started early, you know what I'm saying? But clearly it was a very physical game. I thought that Iowa did a good job of taking us out of flow by bodying us, and quite frankly, that's the way the game was called, and so we had to adjust, and I think we did a good job second half when the game gets in the 50, 52, 53 range, and we lock them up pretty well.
Jim, congratulations. Thank you very much. Let's go over now to Barry Booker.
Thanks, Dan. Coach Davis, what are your thoughts after your final game as Iowa head coach?
I don't know. You know, I'm gonna have to work on that one a little bit. It's funny. I was thinking that right toward the end, you know, in the last minute or two, when it was pretty obvious we weren't going to be able to catch them. But you're still thinking about subbing, and should you put in the bench, should you do a foul, call timeout, stuff like that. And I think that's the fun of our profession, that it just consumes you. And I appreciate this team so much. I think that the overriding feeling is I feel badly that it had to end because they've been a nice group to work with.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Take it, Dan.
Right. Thank you.
And so the Connecticut Huskies advance on to the Elite Eight by a score of 78-68. Tom Davis in his final game as the Iowa coach. And we'll be back with Greg Gumbel in just a moment.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
inter-regional semifinal in the West. Gonzaga by 1 over the Florida Gators. That sets up a Gonzaga versus UConn game on Saturday. Look at it for us.
Perimeter shooting is the strength of this Gonzaga team, and their balance. Everybody shoots it. If they make shots, they've got a chance to stay close.
All right, Clark. In the South, Ohio State and Auburn. The Buckeyes knocked off the top seed Auburn Tigers 72-64. In the other regional semifinal, St. John's a winner over Maryland 76-62. That means on Saturday it'll be the Buckeyes against the Red Storm. And I just want to know, are you suiting up for Ohio State in any of these along the way?
Not suiting up. They're going to have a tough challenge with St. John's because they've got a number of guys that can dribble drive, and that's been an area of weakness for the Buckeyes on occasion during the course of the season.
All right, this night is done. We will see you again tomorrow night, and we'll be on the air at 7:30 Eastern Time, followed by these matchups. The top seed in the East, Duke, taking on Southwest Missouri State, tipping at 7:38 Eastern. At about 7:55, Oklahoma and top seed Michigan State in the Midwest. At about 9:55 in the East, Purdue against Temple, and about 10:15 in the Midwest, Miami and Kentucky, the defending national champions. That's what's coming up tomorrow night here on CBS. We will see you at 7:30 Eastern Time. For Clark Kellogg and for all of us here at CBS Sports, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you then.
Going against Dooling again. 5:23 to play. 8-point lead, Missouri. The Illini, scoreless for 4 minutes, have knocked down a couple of trays, and Corey Bradford makes it 3. Corey Bradford's third tray of the second half. 17th point of the ball game. Now a 5-point deficit. Now the Illini fans coming to life at Kiel Center. As the Illini try to fight back, 4:54 to play. This could be a big possession in this ball game. 13 on the shot clock for Mizzou. The Illini trying to dig in and get a stop. Dooling, double teamed, knocked loose. Grauer, huge bucket. Huge bucket for Mizzou.
That was a dagger. I mean, he stepped up, broken play, and he strokes it. That's clutch.
He has 8. He's hit 2 threes in the last couple of minutes. 8-point lead, Missouri. McLean, trouble with the ball, double dribble.
Now, if you look down the stretch here, turnovers have really hurt Illinois. I mean, they haven't had that many, but the ones that they have really hurt them. We talked about the Grauer. He steps up, gets his spacing there, loose ball. Illinois not quick enough to pick it up, and he just buries it again.
Tomer Krupalya coming back in the game now for Victor Chukudebe for Illinois. There's Grauer. He has hit 2 big threes in the last couple of minutes. Watching Cleotis Brown out there, I meant to mention this earlier, he's hobbling on that foot.
You can tell it's hurting him right now. It's really sore.
Grauer, Albert White put it on the floor. Nice dish down the lane. Hard stop by Hawkins. Big defensive play for Fess Hawkins. McLean's going to try a 3. Short with a try. Krupalya, big rebound. Wide open, didn't shoot it. Hawkins against Harge. Krupalya's open, going to shoot this one off target. And Harge has the rebound. Missouri by 8, 3:44 to play. Hard-fought ball game. White had it knocked loose and taken away. Cleotis Brown got a hand on it. Grauer steals the pass intended for Bradford. .323 left in the ball game. Grauer, Albert White. 9 points, Albert White. Mizzou by 10. 3:10 to play.
And who are you going to call on? Not only does he hit the 3-pointer, but he sets up Albert White with a great assist.
Corey Bradford working on Grauer. Help from Monty Harge. Down inside it goes to Hawkins, and he's fouled. by Albert White, his second. They'll stop the clock with 2:54 to play. The Illini will send Hawkins to the line. They are down by 10.
Team 6. Correction is Team 6.
Been an entertaining game.
Yeah, it sure has. I mean, it's a low-scoring game, and now it's both teams are offensively starting to loosen up. Illinois defensively have got to tighten up on the perimeter, and that's tough to do when you've got Monty Hard, 335 pounds on the block. So you know, it's a dilemma. You give up something inside, you give up outside. Where do you give it up at? And then on the offensive end, they're looking to get the ball to Corey Bradford.
Hawkins knocked them both down. He has 4 in the second half, 10 for the game. And you're watching Big Ten basketball from ESPN+.
Official time on the floor. And tonight's
It's really a controlled chaos. You go as hard as you can, as long as you can, and as safely as you can. It's a great feeling of satisfaction once the harvesting is finally done. The American farmer does a wonderful job of providing the cheapest, safest, most abundant supply of food in the world. Our factory has no walls. We've got nothing to hide, and we're very proud of what we do.
I feel connected to the land. It's a part of me. It's what I do.
Green Acres is a place to be. Farm living is a life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Even that
I couldn't have been on the cover of ESPN, the magazine, if it wasn't for Chris Carter. He's taught me a lot. He looked out for me. He's been like a big brother to me. Isn't that right, Chris? And all we have to do is tighten this last bolt, and Randy's rocket will be ready to race. Who's the Soapbox Derby King? Who's the Soapbox Derby King?
Tonight's game was brought to you by Shelter Insurance. For your life, home, car, farm, or business, Shelter Insurance will always be there for you. And by DuPont Agricultural Products. DuPont is proud to sponsor Fighting Illini basketball. The Tigers in command with 2:44 to play. With an 8-point lead and possession of the basketball, Keon Dooling gives it up to Woods. Johnny Parker, Hafer. Tigers move it crisply on the offensive end, willing to run some clock now. 10 on the shot clock. Woods, not much of a look right there, and he knocked it down anyway. John Woods has 14 points, and the Tiger lead is 10 with 2:17 to play. It's going to take a tremendous comeback for the Illini now. Corey Bradford trying to get it started. Too strong with a three. Hafer clears it. Now Missouri's going to run some clock. Keon Dooling's going to walk it up. Now runs by McClain and got out of whack in the lane. With a whistle blowing. Sergio McClain's second foul.
Well, you can see Dooley, he's going to be a good one. I mean, he's got that open court. He's got some speed and quickness. He blew right around Sergio McClain.
Keon Dooling's first free throw attempt misses. I saw Norm Stewart a moment ago. He has been involved in over half of the basketball games ever played at the University of Missouri.
That's amazing. I mean,
I'll tell you what, he hasn't lost his stinger either. He still competes. He still will compete. Keon Dooling has 3 points. The Tiger lead 11 with 1:55 to play. The Illini will scatter for Christmas Day, then regather in Champaign and head down to play Clemson. Leotis Brown with a three. He has 11 points. The Illini get a quick timeout. 1:44 to play. They're still around. The Illini down by 8 now.
Yeah, if you're the Illini, you're seeing extending the defense, looking for that three-pointer. Cleotis Brown steps up, knocks it down.
Now what they've got to do is put the full court press on them.
Lon Kruger talking to the Illini. This is where we are right now. Missouri has 2 full timeouts left, and in 20, the Illini have 1 full. You see the team fouls. Every Illinois foul, Missouri shoots 2. The next one by Missouri will put the Illini in a 1-on-1 if the safety arrow belongs to Missouri. In other words, just about everything going their way.
Yeah, everything's pointing Missouri's way right now. But give them credit. I mean, they've played extremely well. They kept their composure when Illinois made that run at them. Vice versa, when Missouri ran their run at them. Illinois lost their composure there for about 3 or 4 minutes, and that's been the difference so far.
The run started at the 10-16 mark of the second half. The Illini went 4 minutes without scoring. Lost the lead, and now it appears probably have lost the ball game. Keon Dooling. McLean got a hand on it, and Dooling is over and back to the basketball they rule. Now Norm Stewart wants a 20. He wants to make sure the Tigers keep their composure. There's still 1:28 to play. The Illini get the ball back down by 8, so there's still hope for Illinois.
I think it's Sergio staying with it, competing, just getting his hands in there. This is a good